Good afternoon, folks. Second episode, as promised. Chasing Jag on the rough board. Come on, guys, hike. So you usually don't see Jag on the rough board in the front position, pole position as we like to call it, because he's usually my wheel dog, which means he's the dog behind. G. We are rocking and rolling right now. Just leaving the home front. If you didn't know, or you may not have watched, just did a episode with the two boys. G over. Oh, guys. Boys. I'm going to let my neighbor pass and I'll get right back to it. Actually, I don't know if she's going to. No, I don't think she is. Come on, guys. Hike. Whoop. Come on. So, we just did an episode of Lola and Zorro, her older brother. Lola's my newest husky. She's almost 2. Kind of training her still for the rough board. And Zorro he helps me train her. She's trained. She's run with all 4 dogs. If you saw, we did all 4 dogs Friday. But still, there's a lot of training to be done. And some of that is just cohesion with her pack mates. Jag's doing really good. And some of that is just her sowing her wild oats. So sometimes just to create different dynamics, because the same old run gets boring after a while, I'll change it up and let her run with Zorro or Chase or Jag. Good boy, Chase. Jesus. Oh, good boy, Jag. That's what you call stereo. Emptying at the same time in stereo, folks. Good boys. So, just taking care of business here. Good boy, Jag. Really good for him. And I know I've talked about this a million times. Just helps them go to the bathroom and empty themselves. It's a natural instinct when they start to run, when they start to do activity, similar to humans, but a little more with the dog, because good boy, they want to clear their system in case they have any prey opportunities or confrontations with other dogs or other animals. They don't want to have to stop and go to the bathroom right in the middle. Come on, guys. It's okay, Jag. See, he knew he had to turn around the other way. Good boys. So, that's nice. One cleanup. Excuse me, folks. Sorry, gotta stop here too. Come on, guys, hike. Come on, hike. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You have a little bit of both. Have a great day. Thank you. Always get a lot of people asking me about the rough board, what I'm on now, how I train them, and about the dogs. And again, these huskies, my huskies are woolly coats, even the newest one, Lola, which means they have a long-haired double coat. Jag's a good dog for everyone out there to, I guess, learn from how I trained him, because he's different. He's very apprehensive about trying something new, and he wasn't very confident at all. He actually lived in a lot of fear. Wherever he's from, he had a rough upbringing in his younger years. So he was very jaded. Come on, Chase. And I'm proud of myself and him that he was able to adapt as well as he did. So if you put Jag next to a bike when I first got him, he'd be like, oh, I'm not going to get near that thing. I mean, he was literally scared of it. And then you add to it riding in a car. Oh my gosh. When he rode in the car with his brothers and even sister, Princess, back then, he lay on top of them. He lay on top of the boys. She wouldn't let it for her. But he lay right on top of Zorro and Chase because he was scared. And if they moved, it could cause a fight. And I had to work him out of that and understand some of his disabilities, basically, or apprehensions, and work with them. And he's become a great dog. He's still depending on the situation, he's a sweetheart, but he can act a little bit aggressive. Not to the point where he's going to bite, but he'll threaten that way, especially with other dogs. Not so much people, but with other dogs. And that can make him tough to deal with. He'll do with people sometimes if he's scared, like when we're in the truck sometimes. If when he's riding, it's just a natural problem for him. And he's okay with it, but he's got his idiosyncrasies, and sometimes he's not happy. He'll let you know. He'll growl and leave me alone. Call him Grouchy Jag sometimes. But he's wonderful, like in this situation out on the bike. Oh my God, he's awesome. He loves it. But he still will not, he's not a big puller, and he'll be a step behind. A lot of times his tug line is loose. So he doesn't pull, but he doesn't fall behind. He just wants to do just enough to keep up with the dogs, but not to overexert himself. When we're going home, then he's pulling. He's like, yeah, I'm into this. And that's what's so cool about dogs. They all have their own individual personality. Good boy, Jag. Good boy, Chase. And for us to learn about their personalities and to work with them, that's what makes a good dog a good pet for us. But if we let it frustrate us and get into predicaments where we think, oh, the dog should be able to do this, and for some reason it's got a mental block somewhere. And it's usually something simple, almost like it won't go up the street, but if you change directions and turn around, it'll go down the street. I mean, simple stuff sometimes are all you need to do to get the dog to reverse its course, no pun intended. And the more we understand that and can work with that, the better dogs we create for ourselves. So the better companions, I should say. And that's why training sometimes, it's got to be taken a little more lightheartedly, and it's not so much, do or die. Some days we have a bad day, some days a dog has a bad day, and what you think it may not be getting, it actually is getting, but because of the predicament, sometimes it can't show you that, the dog won't show you that it fully got it. But the next time you're out, you'll be like, wow, he did get it, or she did get it. Car coming by. Good boys. Jag's a little apprehensive about that. You see, come on. He feels safer next to the bike, next to me, than he does hearing that noise come up on him. So he does have a little bit of timidness in that way. And that's actually gotten a little worse over the years, even though we've never had a bad experience at all. But the noises, I remember we had one time. Come on, Chase. And Chase could care less. He's working. He's like, I'm in my element. But we had one time skateboarders or rollerblades come from behind. I wasn't even expecting it. And they didn't really give us any notice because we were on a trail. And come on, Chase. Quite frankly, it was wide enough for everybody. But Jag got really intimidated by it. He almost hit under the bike. So just got to praise him and tell him good boy. And even today, sometimes noises from the bike freak him out. And just got to coax him along sometimes. But that's just Jag. He loves to run. He's lazy, but he loves to do it. And understanding his terms allows me to still get him the exercise he needs. Paul, because let me tell you, Jag's a prankster. Paul's to my left. That's a sled dog command. Paul, good boys, good girls. So he likes to prank his wolf pack mates. So don't let him fool you that he is sweet, but he'll get into it pretty good, and it's usually with good intentions. He jumps them and wrestles hard and has a good time, but he's no lightweight in that department. But when you get him out of his element and he doesn't feel comfortable, he goes back in his shell, and if you try to force him in the wrong way, he can sometimes be a little aggressive. So that's the Jagster. Chase, on the other hand, is just like, I want to run. I don't care what I run with. Put me on a roller coaster and I'll outrun it. I mean, that's his personality. Good boys. See, Jag, when a car's coming towards him or a vehicle, he's more comfortable when he can't see it, when it's coming from behind him and he hears it coming. that's when he's a little apprehensive. He's a good boy. But Chase is ready to rock and roll. So Chase and Zorro, that's why they're out in front usually. They're just all business. Let's go, Dad. And Jag's like, let me think about this. Which way are we going to go? Which way's the wind blowing? How's the weather? How is my car ride here? There he goes. He's picking up a little bit of a pace. So he's happy. Jag's happy. And Jag did gain a few pounds too. So he needs to work. He likes to eat. Kind of like his dad, the wolf driver. Picking up a few pounds and liking to eat. But we need the exercise. So Chase, on the other hand, like I was saying, he loves to run, and you can see it. He's thin. He looks a lot thicker than he is because he's got that woolly coat. He's got that woolly coat where he's a double-coated, long-haired dog. So he looks really, I guess, maybe not big, but full, where Zorro looks big. Zorro is big. But Chase is what they call a racing weight. He's all skin and bones. And that's because he's the most active. Even when he's out at home in the yard, he is running around trying to get the dogs to play with him. And I can't wait till I can let him and Lola be a little more interactive. Can't quite do it yet because I want to make sure he knows she's the young dog. He understands her position. She's part of the pack. He's worked with her now and he's gotten direction from me. But until I let him go full tilt, I want to get all the rules down as much as possible. She's so trusting. Good boys. Got a car coming pretty quick, so I want to make sure they see me. Boys. Come on, guys. Good boys. Nice cool breeze going, folks. It's supposed to rain here. Again, the temperature just 70 degrees or so. And we're supposed to get some rain. So I'm hoping it'll keep the cool temperatures going. G, G, G. G's to the right. G, G, G. Good boys. And good girl, even though good girls aren't here. On here now. Awesome. Awesomely awesome. Jag's doing really wonderful. So's Chase. But Chase, we know, loves to go. Jag, again, sometimes he always goes and doesn't complain, but you know, you gotta keep the praise and keep the excitement with him. The first leg of our first run. He's all the dogs got a lot of piss and vinegar. Sorry for the terminology there, but I try to work it out of them to get a more balanced pace. But I let them flex it, but I don't want to let them totally open it up because I want them to pace themselves so we can get the full run in. There's a little bit of balance there, and they understand. I mean, they're pretty good. These guys are about pacing themselves. They know we might go from anywhere from 5 miles to 30 miles we've gone before. Good boys. So Zara and Lola, if you didn't see it, they're home resting now. And Lola, the way I'm crate training her and introducing her to the pack, she's got her own room with her crate in it. So the boys are all together. Their crates are all in one area of the house. They can kind of see each other. They're not always in their crates in the house, but when they are, they prefer to be a lot of times. Door open, they'll walk in them. When they're in their crates, they can kind of see each other, so they kind of still feel that team or that pack jive. A lot of times when den-dwelling animals, when they're all together, they can see each other and they got each other's back. Somebody wakes up, the other dog keys off another dog, and they get up, etc. So it's just another level of comfort and security. But I don't want to, again, it's all gradual. I want to introduce her slowly, so I want to get her comfortable with just me at first. So I'm the one who comes in there and greets her in the morning. I'm the one that puts her in the crate. I'm the one who feeds her in her crate. I'm it, and the other dogs have nothing to do with it until we graduate to the next stage. Then we'll move her crate with their crates. Just all part of my training regiment and how I've had much success introducing dogs and getting them to work together. Easy, easy. Oh, so we're gonna take a quick break here, folks. Gonna give the dog some water, give my hand a rest. Most of the time I'm on the break, trying to balance between Chase and Jag. Jag being a little slower. Chase wanting to set the world on fire. Nice and cold water, I feel it. I might take a swig myself. I did mention, if you saw it on our last run, depending on the order of the dogs, who's here and what's here, I might order one dog first over the other purposefully, just because, again, a pecking order gets established with all dogs in a hierarchy, and when you have as many as I do, sometimes you have to maintain that order or take them out of that order to flex your muscle, depending on the situation. But that training is pretty much set. Everybody's pretty good. Lola's the only one that I change the order up with sometimes for different reasons. So I'm gonna do my vlog. If you don't know, I do have a vlog, and my vlog, it's basically a blog, but it's a video blog, and it tells pretty much my day's activities, mostly dog centric. Sometimes you'll see some of my hobbies, from the martial arts to my fish tanks, etc. And we are at 1.31 miles. Here's Chase and Jag at 1.31 miles. Here's Chase. That was for my vlog, for an entry. So I filmed throughout the day. I mean, I enjoy this. I love documenting everything. And just looking for my phone now, my main phone. I got so many pockets on here. Again, let me get in front of the camera, sorry. Again, I wear this vest because it's got pretty much straps that go under my legs. It harnesses me in, and I can attach all the dogs to it at any given time if we would come into an emergency situation, or I would have to walk them, or you see me on the trail with it, trees down, I have to take them off the bike. Now, they're trained off leash. Lola's getting there. She's not quite fully trained off leash. But when you're on a busy place, or there's a river right next to you that's flowing with heavy rapids, I don't want to take any kind of chance. When we're out in the farm fields and I know the area and we're good, they're fine. But in that predicament, that's why I use this vest. Excuse me one sec. If you have any questions, and I'm going to try to address one right here, go ahead and leave them in the feed that you're watching this on. This is being simulcast through a lot of Facebook Husky channels. So I want to be able to try to address them accordingly. And if we have any questions, I would love to answer them. So far, just comments. I appreciate all the smiley faces, likes, and wows, and all that good stuff. Let me see if I can. Cool. Cool. So, and I always keep these recordings, so you'll have a chance to watch them again if you didn't catch them now. And we also take excerpts of them, because I'm always talking about training and how I do with the dogs, and sometimes their personalities, which everybody at home or wherever you're watching this from can relate to and learn from. I want to share, and I want to hear other people's stories too, because I like learning too. Like some more, Chase? Good boy. Jagster says, no, Dad, I got enough. Okay, and we're on our way, folks. Now, this stop wasn't as necessary. It's light in the run. It's only a mile and a quarter, a little bit better, like I said. But for Lola, it was more important we stopped here because she doesn't pace herself well yet. Come on, guys, hike. So, good boys, look at them. All come around. All come around. That's a U-turn again. Come around to U-turn. Haul or G are the direction you're going to go. Hall's to the left, G's to the right. So I've talked about this a million times, getting the dogs their exercise. and running adventures. This isn't so much an adventure. This is more of exercise. It's a little bit more of an adventure for Lola because she hasn't gone to all the exotic places that we've gone to. So a neighborhood run's just like, okay, what is this? It's maintenance, upkeep on our bodies, guys. But Lola, this is new to because I rescued her and she didn't do anything like this, and she's taken to it really well. Again, Lola has run with us on some of our dog-powered go-karting adventures. She has not free-ranged. I've taught her. I'm going to have a whole training series so people can learn. I don't suggest you do any of the free-ranging training on your own until you get taught or learn professionally from a professional trainer out there. And when you see those videos, you'll understand why. That will enlighten you, for lack of a better term. I encourage you to watch those. Always Wolf Driver YouTube, you'll see all my stuff. I do have some different YouTube channels, but for all of my wolf driving dog stuff, it's mostly there, but there are some music related dog channels. There's a werewolves, which is our ghost hunting adventures, and there are some other ones. Now, if you're hopefully big into Wolf Driver, you'll explore and find them all. Got some branches down I'm trying to avoid. Sometimes you've got to be careful of branches when you're riding the dog, just because you can pop one up and it can snap and hit you, the driver like me, or it can hit one of the dogs. So I always approach them very gingerly. There's that dog. We ran into her earlier, or him. Good boy. Chase is very animated when he knows other dogs are in the vicinity. So we didn't literally run into them. She was in her, or he's in her backyard. And there's a couple neighborhood dogs, and ho, ho, ho. He's on a. No. He's on an electric fence. Good boy. Good boy. Notice how fast we take off when we need to. Oh! How cool is that? No? Good boy. Good girl. Stay. Good boy. Good girl. Good boy. Come on, guys. Howdy. Yeah, it is. It really is for them. Come on, good boys. So that dog, I wasn't positive. I figured it was on an invisible fence. But I was trying to be a little assertive, but not overdoing it. Didn't want to scare my guys. Not that I'd scare them, but they feed off of us. Our pets do. And if we get too anxious or too nervous or show any kind of apprehension, then that'll carry on to them. So wanted to still remain confident that that dog wasn't going to confront us, because if it did, it could be a little stressful to the dogs, and they're going to want to get at it. It's going to want to get at my guys. But it looked like a pup, but it was pretty well trained on the fence because they didn't have the flags up, so it's known its fence for quite a while. That means it's not new to it. So chances are it was going to be okay, and it was. What happens is if that dog did get to us, I would jump off and try to intercept it, and I make myself look big by taking my I'm just looking at the swing the way they got on this tree. It's really cool. Just like if a bear or a large animal comes at you, I've always learned to make myself look really big so it's less likely to confront you. So I take my arms and extend them out so I look like an airplane, basically, and say, no, no. And I yell pretty loud. And hopefully the owner will come out and call it to it, or it'll retreat based upon my voice. And we had this encounter just the other day on the trail. The cameras were off. We weren't doing a live broadcast. And the dogs, 3 big golden retrievers, I mean, they were 90-pound golden retrievers probably, got wind of us. There was a down tree, came to that tree. Luckily, they were totally off leash. The owner was able to grab 2 The third one slipped through, went right near Lola. I didn't even see it. I just looked back, and Chase, Jag, and Zara were trying to help her. And it looked like it was going to take a defensive posture, and I yelled really loud and stomped my feet as I was approaching it, and he ran off back to its owner. And of course, the owner apologized profusely to me. You're not really supposed to have them off leash. When I go off leash, I go to areas that I rent, quite frankly, that I pay to have them off leash. So, but I understand. So, no damage done. Nobody got hurt. I can't swear that dog was going to be aggressive, but it looked like it was taking an aggressive posture. It was probably male, Lola's female. It was probably going to either try to mount her or who knows what. Good boys. Dogs are doing great now. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. We go to the right, we go home, so I'm just trying to shake them from that. If you saw our earlier video of Lola with us and Zara, they were turning to the right. They're like, oh, we're going home. And I'm like, no, not yet, guys. We didn't get our mileage in. So all is really good. And I love it, quite frankly. I love days like today where it's overcast, so the sun is not beaming down on us, making the pavement hot. I wouldn't run them if it was too hot, obviously. And a nice breeze is going. Again, it's probably going to rain. They've been saying that for a few days, but I haven't seen any signs of it. Right now, the wind's kicking up, so that might be the first sign that a storm is moving in. But we'll have had our exercise for the day. All the dogs will have about 4.5 to 5 miles under their belt, which is decent. It's not great, but it's a maintenance. I like to get them out there doing on the bike, usually anywhere from 10 to 20 miles. That's usually our goal. But because it's the weekend, and we usually don't go to trails on the weekend because they're most crowded, so we usually will stick to the neighborhood or, quite frankly, take off. But Lola, I've been training her so much, the boys have missed some of their regular exercise regimen, and she needs a little more than they do from her nervous energy and from her youth. So I'm focusing on that and trying to give everybody what they can handle, or at least enough to keep them in shape and satisfied. Depending on the circumstances next week, we're going to do a couple dog trips, and going to work with her, really focus on free range and then getting her real acquainted with Chase. That's next week's training. And still keeping on the same regiment of her working on her crates and doing her stuff and doing our routine. Good boy, Jag. Good boy, Chase. So now what we're going to do is take a left, and we're heading towards a big hill. Paul, I usually go right, but because reception is really spotty, cell phone reception for this broadcast, I'm trying to prolong it as much as I can. This is a little bit better reception down here. If I lose you, there's usually enough to keep the feed going, but it'll pause, it'll go in and out. Come on, good boy. Good boy. And if you sit through that, if you have this on in the background or something, it'll eventually come back. But I apologize when it does do that. Of course, there's nothing I can do. Just to let you know that we're holding the broadcast. I'm recording it as we do this, so I will have the uninterrupted broadcast. Hey, Jag, easy, good boy. He's looking at it. That's why that white pole's there. Jag started to go into the bike a little, which is okay, but that white pole says, get back, buddy. Look at Jag, he's going at it, isn't he? He's doing good. Good boy, Jaggy. So these hills, 6% grade is a pretty good grade. He is feeling good, man. He's doing awesome. I mean, Chase is out in front, but again, Jag's the couch potato. So when Jag is really engaged like he is, I just love it, because I know he's feeling good. Good boy, Jag. With Lola and Zara, we were up to like trying to show you speed. I can't quite get it, but at the end I'll know. G, good boys. G's to the right. G, Hall come around. Hall come around. Hall come around. Hall come around. A U-turn to the left. Hall come around. Hall come around. Good boys and good girls. Now we're going to climb the big hill that we just came down. Again, it's good exercise and good training, quite frankly, in both directions, because going down the hill, if we're going, we try not to go too fast, but if the dogs are apprehensive, they use their stopper pads and climbing it, they're using their gripping capabilities to dig as much. Obviously, they can't dig into the concrete because it's not porous, but they still are working at it to climb the hill. They are not pulling me. I repeat, right now, they're definitely not pulling me. Chase is about even. You can tell by the tug line. They can pull me, especially with this lightweight vehicle. 2 dogs, 1 dog of 30 pounds can usually pull a human on a bicycle type vehicle, for a regular bicycle type vehicle on roughly level ground. So 2 dogs are definitely going to do it. But going uphill, they don't have to. And again, the way I run them, they don't have to pull at all. They can simply trot or walk, jog, or run with the bike, depending on what they feel, and then I adjust the other dogs accordingly. So this is battery powered, and these batteries are amazing. They're some of the newest technology, lithium batteries that I've been using when they first came out. I've used some real rough ones in the beginning, kind of homemade ones, which wasn't a great idea. I mean, it was from a company, but G. Gonna go down to this cul-de-sac. G. So the hill has ended. They did good hill climbing, and the machine just makes it up the hill. Now this scooter I've totally customized with my own battery and motor. It did come with one. They don't make these anymore, by the way. And I actually negotiated a deal where I bought a bunch of these because I know I'm going to use them for years, and I want to be able to get them. Now you might be saying, what's so special about this? I'm going to do a U-turn here. Haul, come around. There's a little divot in the court. Haul, come around. Haul, come around. Boy's a good girl. So these guys, we usually stop here, but they don't need to. They're doing great. It's not particularly hot, and we don't have the young girl with us, so we can keep going. So you might be asking yourself, well, what is so different about the RuFF board scooter versus other scooters that you see all over the internet and Amazon? Well, there's a couple differences. First of all, this is built by the factory, battery powered. So though I convert it to a bit bigger, to a more powerful motor and battery, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, no pun intended on it. It was already set up for electric power. G is to the right. G, good boy. The second thing is, one of the biggest things is it's got 3 wheels. You probably can't see because obviously I've customized it with all these dog attachments and camera mounts and a lot of other bells and whistles. Come on, guys, for broadcasting and of course for the dogs. But it's got 3 wheels. So you can't see, but what I'm standing on right under me is a set of 2. And in the front there's 1. Most scooters have 2 wheels, 1 in the back and 1 in the front. The problem is with 2 wheels, when you're with dogs, especially when they're on the side, you can't lay the bike scooter down. Good boys. We usually take a right there. That's why I was focusing on how they were going to go, if I had to command them or not. Good boys. So what the problem is, if you have 2 wheels, you can put a kickstand on, but the dog can easily tip it over if they're attached on the side like they are here. So with 3 wheels, where it's almost always straight up and doesn't need a kickstand, it balances itself. You can get out and tend to the dogs, water them, give them a rest, and you don't have to balance it. It balances itself, and it's harder to tip over. That's why I prefer 3 wheels. So they're few and far between. I'm always looking at what's available out there. And again, I do work with some bike, I guess, engineers, shops, factories, whatever, to build some of my custom stuff, especially the dog power go-karts. And I was going to once build one like this with one of those companies I work with, but because I found this, I didn't have to. But this company is out of business now. It was sold to another company. When it was sold, quite frankly, that's when I picked up my other ones, because I knew, if this goes out of business, which They have, the second company. I'll never be able to get these things, and they work so well, and I don't have to custom build the whole thing in its entirety. I can take the frame and everything about it and just rework it a little bit, re-engineer it, and have the rough board. I also use them for free ranging. Come on, guys. Chase. Chase, no. Come on, Chase. Oh, oh. He wants to do his stuff. I'm going to stop for a sec because it's a big climb up. Hike. So you see where he was, I had to put him in the shoulder because a car was coming, and where I wanted him to enter was a little bit of climb up to the blacktop, so I didn't want him to trip. He wanted to be down there, and eventually he wanted to mark it, so that's why I totally stopped. You got to understand the dog's posture and the situation you're in. And that's where we're at, folks. Everybody's doing great. The rain has held up, no pun intended. So we're not competing with rain. We've still got another leg of our journey left. We're going to stop up here and do a water break and a rest. But you see, these guys, without Lola, they're ready to go. I mean, that's what they do. They're trained for pretty good mileage without a lot of breaks. They don't really need them once they're conditioned and if the weather temperatures are cooperating. Good boy, Jack. Now we got a car up here. Usually this is my area where I go and stop, and we'll see how that plays out. But it's really cool because I've been doing this for so long. You can go on my YouTube channel and see all the times I've been up this road with, I believe, even some of my early Huskies, going back to Czar and Hudson days back in the late 90s. So really cool stuff. Again, I've been doing this forever. And look at Jag, he's rolling today. That's why it's so important to, or so awesome, I guess, that Facebook and social media is around so you can access me. Come on, guys. Come on, Chase. Sometimes people park here to walk this neighborhood because it's such a great walking area. Good boys. A little rough here by design. I like the dogs getting a little roughness to them. Yeah, they're walking. G over. G over. G over. Good boys. Good boys. I like them to hear that and to feel it. Easy, easy. Oh, boys. So there's still some balance required to ride this, but very minimal. See, it's totally left on its own, and it stands right up. So if I had one that needed a kickstand, now these guys are pretty much trained, but when they're younger, they pull on it, they get excited, a squirrel comes by, and if I'm not on it, and if you're only relying on a kickstand, it could fall over easily. They're doing awesome. Everything is awesome, awesome, awesome. Hi, good boy, Chase. Any questions or comments, please go ahead and leave them in the comments section or the feed you're watching this on. Hi, good boy. I didn't figure he went up much. These guys are veterans. I've done this a million times. I'm going to do a blog entry here, excuse me. Chasing Jag at 3.17 miles. Running the neighborhood and loving it. Chasing Jag. Another vlog entry. Once again, I say it a million times, but I know people come on and off the feed on the live broadcast, especially right now when we have situations where we just don't have good reception. Excuse me. Let's see where my phone is. Excuse me for one sec. Hey, what's up? Yes, you have to turn it, go to the front where the Ford emblem is, push it up, turn it one way, I believe to the right, it'll pop up. Then to unlatch it, turn it to the opposite direction and keep it held as you lift it. But watch it because it's not spring loaded. There's a pole under there to catch it that you need to push to erect. You follow me? Put the key in there. turn it to one way, it unlatches it. You see that? And now turn it the opposite direction and hold it in as you lift the hood. But remember, the hood is not spring loaded, so it'll fall. You got it? There's a pole in there. Okay, thanks. I'll be back. Sorry, Mrs. Wolf Driver there. Hi, good boy. Okay, Chase. Now, that's why I call myself doggone crazy. I'm going to check up on Zorro and Lola. See how they're doing. There hasn't been a lot of movement in there because my camera is set to detect movement, and then it rings me. I use Ring cameras. I love them. They're quite frankly awesome for observing the dogs. I've had a surgery on Chase where we had a growth removed on his paw. Thank God it was benign, but he got to the stitches. But I used a Ring camera at some point to start monitoring him, and he did wonderful. It would let me know if he moved, and I had to check on him because we were at a time where I had to make sure he didn't get to the stitches again, to the open wound. Boy. So this will be like a 5-10 minute break. We've been out here for about 41 minutes now. This is usually about an hour run, 4.5, 5 miles, and takes us about an hour with breaks and broadcasting and all that good stuff. And then the boys will go in. They'll go inside the house. They could stay outside, but they're probably going to want to be in. I'll show you them at the end. They get into the pond to cool down, which is really, really cool. No pun intended there either. I'm on a no pun intended kick, aren't I? Oh, sorry. I'm not in the view. I forget the camera, where the camera is. Jag's up. That means he's ready. Excuse me while I put some power into my phone before it loses all its charge, so I can keep the broadcast going. Okay, guys. Storms are coming. I hear them. The question is, will we beat the storm home? We can run in the rain. It's no problem. Hey, guys, come on. Paul. 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 Good boy. Paul. Come on, guys. Hike. And we're off, folks. Just like that. Nice before a storm, because it really, at least this storm, the breeze is moving in. Again, it was breezy anyway, but trees are starting to kick up. In case you can't tell, I live in the woods, in a wooded area. And, I mean, there's other houses around, obviously, but it really provides a lot of shelter, especially for a breed like the Husky that likes it cool. My house is always, I'd say, 3 to 5 degrees cooler than when you get out to the more urban area, or even just open area where there's more fields, where the sun can penetrate more. Throat's getting a little dry, sorry. Boys. Been really awesome. My battery's doing good. I was talking about the lithium powered batteries for this vehicle. And usually after 5 miles, I'll charge them. But I started because each battery, they're expensive batteries. These are $300-$400 batteries. I mean, they used to be $1,000, but technology and battery competition has brought them down. But I'll charge them, used to be after every run, because I want it good for the next run. But what I started doing was carrying 2, because one will run this vehicle. And I'm finding out it'll run it for more than 5 miles. This is my second run today, of course. And that'll give us over 8 miles right now that we've got one working. Of course, that depends on the terrain and how much stress you're putting on it, what speed you're doing. But overall, for an average run like we do, and I know the terrain because we're always running the neighborhood on this vehicle. But I did want to mention that I can take this vehicle anywhere. It's extremely portable, which is really nice. So if my truck is down and I can't get the dog-powered go-kart, I can fit this on my van, the dog bus, because I have 2 dog trucks that you may or may not be aware. One is what I call my dog limousine, the four-wheel drive vehicle. That's the big white Ford Excursion that has been custom made with an extra set of doors, looks like a limousine, to take my big dog trips. It's got a roof deck to hold the dog power go-kart, and also hauls a trailer to haul dog power go-karts when I need to carry more than one. Peace, my neighbor. So this scooter can go almost anywhere because it's small, and it can run the trails. It's equipped, again, I was talking about its three-wheel stance. Most scooters are two wheels. Because of its three-wheel stance, it's got a pretty aggressive tire tread, and it can go off-road. Good boy, Chase. Chase is going to do a bathroom stop. I could tell. I mean, I'm like, why is he holding back? He's getting ready to go to the bathroom. Good boy, Chase. Awesome. Good boy, Chase. Good boy, Chase. Quick bathroom break. And it's awesome. Did I lose one of my bags? I think I lost one of my bags. Oh boy. Hope I see it on the way back so I can stop and get it. Huh. Okay, come on guys, hike. So the portability of this RuFF board is really nice. And I also use the RuFF board for free ranging. Now I've got a few of these, like I said, and one of them I don't have any of the dog attachments on, so I can take them to areas that don't need my ATV, smaller areas, to free range them. And there's a couple areas like that, for instance, where we do the mazing chase, where we chase the flag off leash. There's some fields we can free range. Still small, it's about a 15-acre place. Or no, sorry, about a 40-acre place, I believe. And I'm able to haul, good boys. Haul means to the left. I called it out a little late. I'm just doing it to let you know. Again, it's not imperative these dogs know sled dog commands. It's helpful, actually, for my other activities, like I was talking about free ranging, so I can direct them on which way to go, what direction. But, good boy, Chase. But I can free range up there. I use an ATV usually to free range, an electric ATV, and it's awesome. And you might have seen it. There's about 3 farms I go to that I have electric ATVs at, and it gives me the opportunity to free range the dogs and access almost any area they want me to access, because this could be my bag up here. I'm just checking, because the ATV can get through the tough areas, and I can keep up with them. When they want to go fast, I can let them go fast. It's something to see. It's kind of like a safari, I call it. It's almost like the dogs in the wild, and they're doing their stuff, and there's really no barriers. Just of course, I have to stick to the land. But when you're talking 500 acres, it's kind of easy to stick to that land. And just be mindful. I can't drive through fields that have been planted, crop fields. But in the winter, when they're not, some are still planted with winter weeds. But when they're not planted, or they're, I ride the perimeter if they're planted. But the dogs can meander through them, and I have them on GPS collars so they can see it all. I can see them. Come on, guys. Have a great day. Thank you. So it's quite a sight to see, and quite frankly, I'm amazed that I've been able to negotiate kind of the land leases. They're not really land leases, it's just permission to run. Oh, thank you. Good boys. Paul's good. So I've been able to negotiate these deals where I can run the dogs there and keep my electric ATVs. And these farms, again, some of them are up to 500 acres. So that's awesome too. But I was getting at what I can do with the sled dog commands is I can give them a direction that I want them to go. A lot of times the dogs are ahead of me, especially when I was running Princess, because she'd be behind and I'd have, the boys would be in front and I'd kind of be balancing that, keeping an eye on her, keeping an eye on them. And I would be able to call a direction out which way I want to go, and they usually go in that direction. It's really cool. And that's because I don't need the sled dog command so much for this, maybe just to anticipate, but I kind of lean into my turns and take them gradually anyway, and the bike kind of directs them. Same thing with the dog power go-kart, it kind of directs them. Now we got a good pace going, they are rolling. I'm trying to get a speed for you if we can. 9.1 right now, folks. 9.8. Good boys, good girls. 11.3. G, 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 G. So that beat Zorro and Lola's. They were 11.1. Now I didn't monitor it the whole time. It does tell me, and I can check. Oh, Jag's really amped up. He's doing awesome. I can check on their top speed for the activity, which I didn't do before I signed off on the last broadcast. So I'll try to remember to do that for this. That could have been it, though. We were moving at a pretty good clip. And the dogs get more excited as they get closer to home because they feel like they did their job. You know, they know this route and they can smell that they're getting close to home. They've done it enough to know, etc. But it's still exciting for them. Just like, you know, when I get home from a long day of work, I'm like getting home to my chair, to a nice cold drink or whatever, and dogs are getting home to their comforts. But they got their energy out. They got to go to the bathroom, and it's encourage them to, whatever. I think I might hear a little dog. So I'm just going to be a little cautious here. Maybe not. The wind is really whipping up. Be a good time to get home. Good boys and good girl. Now, you might have heard when I was hooking the boys up, Gigi, our Chinese crested, was getting a little anxious because they're very they're not very independent. They need some comfort, companionship from humans or other dogs. And I was taking two of her dogs with me, and she wasn't going, so she wasn't happy. But I can put her on here too, and I've done it many a times. But I didn't want to do it. Now I'm really trying to work with these two and get some high speeds in. Good boys. Boys. G. Now these guys are ready for some speed today. G. G. Come on, guys. Boys. So I like to give them, slow them a little bit before we get home, just so they can get their get a little bit of a cool down in. Upset I lost my other cleanup bags. I'll ride through the neighborhood and try to find them. I don't like to do that. We did just great. Just awesome. Boys. And lo and behold, the battery just fell. Oh, guys. So, but the beauty of this is I pull this off and I go right into here and I go right. Oh, gotta love it. Come on, guys, hike. Boys. And so that battery lasted me a good almost 9 miles. Probably 9 miles. I want to get the exact mileage. I'll know, but I'm very close to 9 miles. Which is good. That's actually what we get on a dog power go-kart. We get about 8-9 miles out of one, I believe. No, we get... I gotta recalculate. Haul, haul, haul. Sorry, too many numbers in my head right now. Good boys. Boys. Okay, easy, easy, easy. Geez, you'll learn we're home. I'm gonna come up there and see us. I'm gonna show you how we end now. I'm gonna take this. Excuse me for 1 sec. There's Gigi at the door saying, "What's going on? Where are my boys at, Dad? You got them." I gotta show you this. She's like a pinball. I don't know if you can see it. Whoa, sorry. There she is. What's up, G? Good girl. Good girl. She's like a pinball. Okay, so we're going to let the boys off leash here. Okay, G, coming to you. Hang on. Good boy, Jag. Okay, G, hang tight. She's really going at it. Come on, guys. Jag. Come on. And we're going up to the pond for a cool down, folks. If you didn't catch this on the last one, enjoy it here. It's really cool. Dogs get in there. This pond was designed for them, so they have easy access. And our total mileage for them, 4.5. Chase. Chase. Come on, good boy. Chase. Finish. Sorry, I got to do a blog entry here. Finishing up at about 4.5 miles for Chase and Jag. We're on the cool down right now in the pond. Finishing up. And that's my vlog entry. Cool stuff here. Sorry, right here you're seeing my broadcast camera. Chase he wasn't too hot. He went in for a sec. If it was hot out, you'd see him soaking in there. He's more interested in running around to see the fish and to see what he can climb or get into. And again, this is all for the dogs. Now this rock, and I talk about it on one of my websites, was all trucked in from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Something like, I don't know how many, 100 tons, something crazy. There's a ton, literally more than a ton here. Chase, come on. Good boy. See, that's the way he's trained. He's not on an invisible fence out here. He could be, but I just don't have him on it right now. He hasn't really been trained on the invisible fence out here. This is where Princess used to do it. They respect my fence in the back, which is a physical fence, so well because they get all their exercise in. They're psychologically and physically challenged enough that they're happy. So this was Princess's yard, and now I'll divide it a little differently with the addition of Lola. See how the fish, they're kind of on the bottom, and I don't know if they do that. Sometimes they do that, I think, in anticipation of a storm coming. They do it in the colder weather, but it's the temperature in the pond hasn't changed too much because it's not that cold right now. Jag's getting towards, it's a little deeper out to the middle part of the pond. He's getting out towards it. Now, again, my dogs usually don't swim. Chase would swim. When we go to free range at the farms, there's a pond area, one of them he likes to swim in. Chase! Oh, Chase. He just likes to mark it. Come on, Chase! Good boy! Here, Chase! Good boy! See, you got to give him some leniency because he's working his way, getting down here. Otherwise, he's going to climb on the rocks. That's cool. Now that I might have to get a picture of. That is cool. How cool is that? There's Chase in the waterfall. That is cool. And again, all this rock work was put in here for the dogs to simulate the wild. Good boy, Chase. Good boy, Chase. And then he comes to the real shallow end where they usually get in and out from. Climbing on the rocks, especially as the dog's age, like for Princess, was great. And she used to love doing it. There's Jag with the goldfish looking at him. So, I'm sorry, I don't know if you saw that. I was just making my vlog entry for it as I was explaining it. Again, I know I've said it a million times, big fish going near Jag, and Jag catching his attention. I know I've explained it a million times. They emit the heat, some of their heat, through their pads of their feet. They actually sweat there. So when we cool their pads, it really helps cool them down, cool their bodies down. There is a turtle that lives in here, a red-eared slider. It's very friendly, but you don't see him all the time. He usually sunbasks on the middle rock right there or on this rock here. I usually come out here to feed the fish in the morning and in the afternoon. Got bird feeders and all kinds of stuff here. So, and you'll see some of the cameras. Now, we've had a crane or a big heron bird come by and eat some of the fish. So I'm trying to discourage that by having some of the cameras here. They're two-way communications, and I can yell at them. They're scared of loud noises. Look at Jag. See what he can do in the pond. Good boys. And usually, they're both still in there. Oh, isn't that cute? How cute is that? The brothers. Okay, good boy, Jaggy. Shaking it off now. Usually when Jag's out, they're pretty much done. He likes the water the most. Jag! Jag breaking up my tree. They'll rub into the trees to dry themselves off and scratch. Look at him. How cool is that? You see him? He's actually, let me get this. He's actually rolling them at a hydrangea. And I don't care. They could do that all they want. It's so funny, though. Good boy, Jag. He's going to walk through the stream. Oh, it just started raining. How convenient. He's going to walk through the stream, too. Let's see which way he goes. How cool is that? Good boy, Jag. We've got ferns growing, and that's hydrangea growing down the rocks there. Jag's just trying to plot his path. Coming back. Checking out the camera there. There's the chase man. And again, Zorro and Lola are inside. They did their run, and they had their fun in the pond for the cool down when we were done earlier. Cool beans. And that's going to be a wrap, folks. Now, what I do is I'm going to send them in the back. The yard in the back. Oh, they're fishing now. Okay, come on, guys. Good boys. Look at that. Come on. Come on. Good boys. Responding right away. Come on. Here. I want to get them into the backyard because it is starting to rain. Jag. Jag. Good boy. Now, sometimes there's a little leniency you have to understand. He's going up there to mark that. Come on, Chase. Good boys. Good boys. Come on. Come on, Chase. Good boy. Look at that. And that's how I put them there. And there's different yards I have. Like I said, some are on invisible fence. Some are physical barrier, depending on the situation, what I'm trying to do. We'll decide where they are and how I do it. So that's all part of my training regiment and life with Huskies. Wolf Driver, signing off. Hope you enjoyed the show. Any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them. I'll look forward to seeing you on another Wolf Driver broadcast real soon. Have a great day.